6 ways how the Soweto Derby makes over $1 million in one weekend. Number 1, general ticket sales. Number 2, VIP and hospitality packages. Number 3, merchandise sales. Number 4, broadcast advertising rights through television, radio, and other parts of the African continent. Because remember, there's a lot of South African expats as well who live everywhere, all over the world. Some live in other African countries. There's even other people who've never set foot in South Africa who love to watch the derby. Just like myself, I watch the Zimbabwean Highlanders while I'm a South African. I call it the Pagania of Zimbabwe. I'm a big fan. Pre-derby activations, they're leading up to the actual derby. So it's a huge economic spinner. People get into buses in South Africa, they get into taxis, they get into trains, going to the game. People have passed on generationally support of these teams to their children and their children's children and their children's children's children. Because Kaizer Chiefs has been around for many years, Orlando Pirates has been around for many years, Sundowns has been around for many years, and most of these soccer teams have been around for many years. But when the Soweto Derby happens, Kaizer Chiefs versus Orlando Pirates, that one weekend alone, it's a big economic money spinner. Big revenues get generated from how in marketing terms in South Africa they would classify as the LSM brackets 1 all the way to LSM bracket 10. Your CEOs, your professionals, your scholars, your doctors, your entrepreneurs, your millionaires, getting their packages over there and getting to entertain some of their clients and just being at the game, all the way to others being with the sisters there. Some of them are back on a girlfriend wabo, TV zooms into them, but abuzana neinyatsi, aboside chick, lapayana, maslay quid, all the way to the vuvuzela blowers, amagang, umsindo, lapayana stadium, getting into a bus, organizing. Just the entire experience just makes you proud of being South African. And even if you haven't been in South Africa for many years, you know what I'm talking about. You know the atmosphere around a derby. People get an opportunity to sell plates at the stadium, make money. People get an opportunity to sell more. I've got thousands and thousands of more fire street sellers, street hustlers that make a lot of money when there is a Soweto derby. And remember, it doesn't only get to generate economic returns only at the stadium. You must remember the nearby places as well. Places around Soweto, you would know, they're all packed after a derby. The derby just happened right now, and shout out to my team, Orlando Pirates, doing the most. But we all know that in Soweto tonight, money is going to be spent everywhere. Others are disappointed, their teams have lost. Others are excited, they're happy. But what most big soccer fans in South Africa expect from a derby is goals. Either their team loses or their team wins, but people expect to see goals. I've seen in the past when there's 0-0, the fans get pissed off. The fans get irritated. But then you're looking at the ticket sales. People buy online, people buy at the gate, the queues that get to happen there, the hustlers, the people that own the joints around the area in Soweto, people that own the spots, the alcohol spots, the hangout spots, the lounges, the nightclubs around Soweto, the Chisanyama places around Soweto, the alcohol selling places around Soweto, all the way to the small guy who's selling in the street, matches, loose drawers, sweet chappies, and the mamas that are selling the plates, people that are selling beverages, more fire, Coca-Cola products, etc. at the stadium, people that are selling cellular at the stadium, the generic spots, what they call extra strong, the atmosphere there, the noise, the vuvuzeling, and just the beautifulness of being a South African. And I can only imagine for those who come from Soweto what the Soweto Derby means to them, because it's been inherited from generation to generation. And I have to give it up to Dr. Irvin Khoza. I know Baba Sigbiza Gutu Ivan Khoza, Ikas, but you're Dr. Irvin Khoza, and you created this amazing team, and they always say once a Pirates, always a Pirates. And then you've got Abafana Boktula Nkolo, which is Amakhosi Amahl, Kaizer Chiefs. These are iconic South African, these are actually iconic African teams some of the biggest teams in the world. And we've seen how they've been able to create brands around these teams, how they've been able to do sponsorship deals with big companies like Abo Vodacom, Abo MTN in the past, Abo, you can name all these different companies that they get to partner with, including television rights that they get to sell to all these different television companies from across the continent, including the VIP packages that get to be sold where they make money and they generate revenue from there, the generic tickets that they generate. The derby on its own in terms of ticket sales, that on its own makes no less than 10 million rands for the weekend. That's why they say the minimum that the derby generates is $1 million for the weekend. I know overseas teams, they make more. Obviously, it's Europe, they're selling global television rights, and obviously, you know, it's also different currencies, etc. But in South Africa, that's a lot of money. So I make it $1 million so as to be relevant to the world audience that might not come from South Africa, just to give you guys a bit of an idea. But yeah, they make anything between 10 to 20 million in terms of sponsorships, in terms of revenue from ticket sales, packages, hospitality, in terms of TV rights, as well as merchandise. Don't forget merch. Merch is the biggest money spinner. It's the biggest money revenue collector out of soccer teams. The soccer jerseys that get sold for the soccer teams. So it's a really, really big business. It's a big business. And it's good for the community of Soweto. It brings a lot of money into Soweto as well. Brings a lot of tourism into Soweto. Makes a lot of money for local business owners. It's a big business. South Africans love soccer. And because the both Soweto teams, Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs, they're not only national, but they're continental and global, that's how much they generate. Although I believe they could be making more. Although I believe they deserve to be making more. Although I believe they are worth as much as all these other international soccer teams make. And yes, those ones make more because for many years, the TV rights are sold to global TV broadcasters all over the world. And over time, they've become global big brands because of the huge reach. That's why you'll find even a lot of South Africans say, no, I watch international soccer, I don't watch local soccer. There are people like that. But then there's us here that love our local South African teams, that love our local South African football, that love the culture, that love the atmosphere that is brought about by the derby, that love hanging out with friends over a glass or a bottle of beer, or over getting drunk and having fun with friends at a chisanyam and frying that meat and arguing and just swearing at the soccer players there because we're not in the pitch with the spectators, right? And just that experience of going to the stadium. Everything generates a minimum of at least $1 million. Even the pre-derby activations. It's a big money spinner. And I just wanted to congratulate the team that has just won today. But yeah, I just hope that every other soccer team owner out there aspires to turn their soccer team into a global brand and also to be able to attract these types of revenues, because these are even little compared to the type of teams that they are. They deserve more. Of course they deserve more. But yeah, I thought I should just do this video and just ignite that economic side from entrepreneurs who would love to know actually how much money does the Soweto Derby generate over a weekend. There you have your answer. You can go do your own research. That's just food for thought. You'll do the dishes. I'll see you guys on the next video.